Hey you guys, it's Britt. Tonight I'm here to share my opinions about Acacia Kersey announcing that she is leaving her life as an online influencer behind. She's resigning. So I had a few thoughts. If you're interested, please keep watching. All right, you guys, so just a couple days ago, Acacia Kersey announced on her Instagram page that she is leaving her life as an online influencer behind. She's turning it off and moving on with her life, and the internet and being an internet personality is no longer going to be a part of it. So I did have a few thoughts. First, I want to read her actual announcement. Then I'm going to also tell you guys about something that happened last year that, in my personal opinion, did have a role to play in this decision, in my opinion. Of course, I don't know for sure, but it was a pretty big issue that she got herself involved in, and it seems like since then, things have just not been very consistent with her. So first of all, Acacia is 23 years old. She has 2 million Instagram followers, and she also has a YouTube channel. She has a really big online presence. She has been on the internet for over 10 years creating content, and she also has a couple of kids. She has a husband, and obviously being 23 and being on the internet creating content for 10 years, that means that a lot of her life has been shared online. And I've always wondered what kind of impact this has on a young teenager that starts sharing stuff online at such a young, tender, confusing, odd stage of life. You know, and when I say tender, it's just like your emotions are easily manipulated, your feelings are easily hurt. And of course, I'm only speaking from personal experience, but when I was 13, there would be no way that I would be able to deal with the hate, the backlash, the trolling, and the nonsense that happens. And I only have a small platform, and I'm definitely not saying that I am a pro when it comes to dealing with these things, but I've had a small handful of interesting sort of interactions during my time on YouTube. And, you know, I put myself in my shoes when I was 13, and there would be no way that I could read these really nasty, vile, cruel remarks about myself if I was so young. And, you know, self-esteem obviously comes with age. And I also wonder about, does the self-esteem growth, is it stunted because of being online at such a young age? There's so many different avenues that can be discussed when it comes to starting to share your life at such a young age online. So as far as the announcement that she made, I'm not a subscriber, I'm not a follower of hers. So if any of you guys are, or you've followed her for any period of time, did this announcement come as a surprise to you? Did it come out of left field? You know, if you know her better than I know her through watching her content, tell me kind of what this felt like to you as a fan or a subscriber of hers. I would love to know. I don't think that her demographic is necessarily my demographic. I think that my demographic is a little bit older. But just out of curiosity, I did want to inquire with you guys. It says, "Hi everyone, it's been a few months since I've been on here, but I'm here to share some news with you. I'm leaving my role as an influencer indefinitely. There are a plethora of reasons that have led me to this decision. This role has done an immense amount of damage to me, my relationships, my financial stability, and my view of the world. Fear has been keeping me here for longer than I can even admit. Fear of what would happen if I stopped bringing in money, fear of what I could even offer the world, fear of who I am without this because it's all I've ever known. I was exhausted on all fronts, living in autopilot online. I was living with an empty cup while still doing my best to fill the cups of those around me, and I could not operate like that for long. I lived a majority of my life in a place I didn't want to be in and made a lot of decisions that I probably wouldn't make again. Starting the day I left, I have been working hard to break down, rebuild, and be the best mom that I can be. And right now, that mom is offline, and I commend her for that. Everything else put aside, if you can come to a decision to say that if I remove myself from being an online presence, an influencer, a beauty guru, a mommy vlogger, whatever it is that your kind of online persona is, if you can look at that and say willingly, I will be a better mom to my kid or my kids if I take myself offline, I commend her for that 100%. I think that's the problem that a lot of the influencers get themselves wrapped up in, is that the money is really good, obviously. Showing your kids to strangers online is very lucrative, unfortunately. And once you get accustomed to making that kind of money and having that kind of cash flow, it is extremely difficult to pull the plug. And we've talked a lot, I talked about this when it came to Micah Stauffer, how her online reputation is damaged. Like, there's no way that she can come back and be successful. However, because you decided to be a douchebag online, now let's just say that you want to get back into the workforce and live a normal life offline, whatever normal is to you. If you make that decision, then you also have to think about the footprint that you have online is going to follow you to your future employers. So unless you're able to have your own business and not have it be a part of an internet persona, that could be an avenue. But if you're going to be sending your resume out to, headhunters or corporate jobs hiring for something that you have experience with, most employers are going to be, doing a basic search. And as soon as they see someone like Micah Stauffer, I don't think that most companies are going to want their company name associated with someone like Micah. The flip side of that is, let's say that you're talking about an influencer like Acacia, who started her life online at 13 and has not built up a resume and did not graduate college because she was influencing, and that's what was making her the money that she needed to live day to day, week to week, month to month. If you go down that road and you are not building your resume or building your job skills or working towards a degree to have something to fall back on, that's even more detrimental, because now you are 23, 25, 35, however old you are, trying to transition from being an influencer to having a 9-to-5 job, or whatever. It doesn't have to be 9 to 5, but you're trying to get into the workforce because you no longer want to be an online persona, but you have no experience because you spent the last 5, 7, 8 years being an influencer. So this is a very, very difficult position to be in. I'm definitely not saying that I have all of the answers, but I will tell you guys, me personally, the kind of outlook that I have on this for me and myself. As of right now, I will never accept YouTube as my full-time job. If I get 100,000 subscribers and I'm getting consistent views and everything is all good and well, I will always at least work a part-time job, because I don't want the lapse in employment on my resume, because YouTube is not forever, influencing is not forever, and even if it was, I like to have some sort of stable income to know I'm definitely going to get this amount of money this month, and anything else is additional. Anything else is extra. And I know that that's just what works for me, but what else am I going to compare it to? I can only tell you guys what, how I see it. And I totally get it. Don't get me wrong. As a, person in your late teens or early 20s, if you have this opportunity to be an influencer or be a YouTuber or a vlogger or whatever, and make $30,000 a month or $50,000 a month, or, even if it's a little bit less, let's just say that it's 10 grand a month. If you're able to make that, then why wouldn't you do that full time? You're young, you have minimal bills. Let's just be a full-time YouTuber. And I guess that's part of being young and learning too. All that I can hope is that these younger people that want to be personalities online have some sort of role model or parent or guardian or family friend who can sort of, get them to look at both sides of things, where if you become a full-time YouTuber for 5 years, that's a 5-year lapse on your resume. That's a 5-year lapse in job experience and job skills. That is also possibly deciding to not go to college. And I've always said, I didn't go to college. I had my own decisions for that, and it ended up working out. But the thing that I'm focused more on is the huge chunk of job experience that you are possibly kicking to the curb, because these influencers make influencing full-time look so luxurious. It's flex culture, it's money, it's houses, it's friends, income, jewelry, all of the materialistic things. But when you come out on the other side of that, it can be detrimental to your future. And possibly, if you have kids by then, your kids' future. So it's very complex, but either way, she goes on to say, we moved back to Oregon and are on the hunt for a more practical and safe forever home. Our life away from social media involves Jarius working while I'm a full-time stay-at-home mom. I have also started a tiny side business just to be creative, have fun, and have something just for myself. So there you go. If she's going to be a stay-at-home mom and have the side business, then obviously, hopefully that is fruitful for her. Because like I said, the resume is essentially non-existent only because she has been doing influencing for so long. And if I'm ready, I'll share that. Our lifestyle, relationships, spending habits, goals, practically everything we once knew has changed. This decision was one of the hardest that I've ever had to make, while simultaneously being the easiest and most freeing things that I've ever done, since it meant a better life for myself and my family. And who knows, maybe one day I'll make my way back here, but I will not rely on social media for my family's survival. It just created too much of unhealthy pressure and privilege, and it's time to move on. Lots of love, signing off. And right now it has 143,000 likes on it, and it seems like people are being supportive in the comments section, so that's great. But this is very interesting. And if Acacia Kersey was someone who had stayed in her lane, not ever gotten in any kind of scandals or anything like that, I think that this decision would be applauded and not really questioned. I'll tell you the reason that I kind of question it, and it is because Acacia has gotten herself into a little bit of, I don't want to say drama, but definitely scandals during her time online. The one that I want to discuss with you guys today is the fact that last year she stole from a fellow influencer. If you guys know, a lot of the influencers come out with presets. So these are like preset filters that you can apply to your Instagram, pictures, videos, stories. I don't really see the point of presets, I'll be honest. I've seen a lot of influencers online come out with limited edition presets and holiday presets and summer presets. To me, I don't need it. I'm not going to pay for your special filter. I'll just look at a tutorial and figure it out for myself. I'm not going to pay an influencer for a preset. I think that it's just a cheap way to get income, if I'm being honest. Now, do influencers know how to edit their photos? Yes, but there are also free videos on YouTube and on Instagram that will show you how to get the aesthetic of whatever it is that you're seeking, and they're not charging you for presets. So I hope that makes sense. But there's another influencer, her name is Ash Levi, and she accused Acacia of stealing her work. And the work that she was talking about had to do with the presets that Ash had designed. Ash posted an entire 40-minute video on her own YouTube channel. Ash creates presets for Instagram and sells them online to social media users. According to Ash, Acacia bought her presets and sold them as her own creation, making thousands of dollars from someone else's work. Ash first noticed she used her preset in one of her pictures. Initially, Ash got excited by the fact that a big name used her creation, even though Acacia did not give her any credit for the preset. Then Acacia released a bunch of presets for sale. Ash checked it out and found that 6 of the presets she was selling were hers. Ash confronted the Instagram influencer, Acacia, and called her out for stealing work and selling it to people. Acacia admitted that she copied her work because she got inspired by it. Moreover, Acacia said the work is not exactly similar to hers and that she tweaked it a little bit, but Ash said that the presets were hers and she just literally copied the exact theme. Further, Acacia asked Ash to keep it between them. She said that she loved Ash's work and wanted to create it herself, but didn't get any inspiration as she was in a difficult situation at the time. Acacia claimed that she needed money for her family and requested Ash to not release the news on social media for fear of receiving hate. So to break this down in the simplest way, I think that it's total BS when people copy from each other. I understand taking inspiration and, maybe trying to follow in someone else's footsteps in a certain degree if you like their aesthetic or the type of videos that they make or whatever. Unfortunately, when you're putting work out onto the internet, there are going to be people that might steal from you, and it sucks. And I have such a high respect for artists and people who create and are brave enough to put their creations that sometimes take days, months, sometimes even years to create product that they then release to the public, which in this day and age is the internet. Social media, a lot of things are just being sold online. It's just the world that we live in. I cannot stand that somebody would steal from a creator. And I know a lot of people were making the comparison that Acacia has a big following, Ash didn't have a big following. Even putting that aside, because that does matter, but even putting that aside, let's just look at the fact that person A stole something that person B worked really hard on. Even if I think that presets are silly and not really needed, that doesn't even matter. What matters here is that there was a product that hard work was, delivered on, and it was released only to be taken by somebody else, and that sucks. It is completely inexcusable. So initially, even though Acacia admitted to using 6 of the presets, it was later on admitted that there were more, so it wasn't just 6 that she ended up taking. The other thing that really bothers me about this is the fact that Acacia wanted to try to get Ash to sweep this under the rug and not say anything. Please don't go public. I'll get a lot of hate. But you made the conscious decision to steal from a fellow creator that worked hard to make something. You stole it, you got caught, and now you are asking her to keep it between the two of you. I would never expect, if I deliberately stole something from somebody, admitted that I stole it, I would never have the audacity to ask them to not say anything because of the hate that I might get. How about this? How about don't steal from each other? Don't steal something that someone else worked really hard on, and you won't have to worry about someone not going public with the fact that you stole their work. So there's one more thing that I want to read you guys, and this is not something that I always say, if I don't know everything A to Z, I always say I'm not a historian in this topic, but this is also a very important part of her history online, so I want to tell this to you guys. I'm also going to link Audibly Elena. I mentioned her the other day. She has a couple of really good videos about Acacia Kersey. If you guys are interested in knowing more or hearing a a different kind of opinion about Acacia, please go watch those videos. I think if you guys haven't gone to her channel, I think that you'll like her. She's really chill, no nonsense, not super animated. So if you guys like the way that I deliver my videos, you'll definitely like her as well. Very level-headed and calm, but also very meaningful. And I like the conversations that she brings to the table. So I'm going to link that down below. Additionally, I will also link a couple of articles that I read myself. And I'm also going to link Ash's YouTube channel in my description box if you guys want to hear about the stealing that Acacia did from the actual victim. Then I will link that in the description box. I'm getting a little tongue-tied. So lastly, let's talk about Acacia and her children, because the first time that I saw Acacia Kersey's name was actually on a very old video that Sloan did. And I didn't know who Acacia Kersey was. She didn't look familiar or anything like that, but there were some really big claims that came out of his videos. And while I don't remember verbatim what he said in those videos, it was concerning. The tone of the video and the claims that were being delivered in the video were very concerning as a viewer. Whether or not I know who Acacia is, just hearing some of the things that were being brought forth were concerning. So this article states that Acacia's life had changed a lot during her time living publicly, but her haters never wavered. They moved on from calling her a and messy teen to criticizing her as a bad mom. Twitter accounts dedicated to hating her blasted the toys that she gave Brinley, what she fed her, and more. After Rosie's birth, the critics got more biting. Rosie has a disability which was undiagnosed for the first year or so of her life and led to wild speculation online. People accused Acacia of hating Rosie, neglecting her, and failing to acknowledge or treat her condition. Acacia's eventual public revelation that Rosie had been diagnosed with a rare genetic condition called Alagille syndrome did little to quell the criticism. As I'm sure her haters are screaming right now, Acacia has had many public missteps. In 2020, she apologized for racist tweets and Tumblr posts that she had written that had resurfaced. She has gotten hate for rehoming pets. Most recently, another creator accused Acacia of ripping off a series of Instagram presets. That's what we just discussed. So as far as her past online, there's definitely been a lot of things that have unfolded, a lot of things that I don't even know about to this day. That's the problem when it comes to sharing your life and your kids with the internet. And this is what I will always say. I don't think that the critics are always fair, and I know that there are some that are very vile and cruel and can say things that would give someone nightmares. They can be very, very distasteful, but when it comes to sharing really private, intimate moments, you are giving them the content to react to and to pick apart and to hate on and to say really bad things about your parenting style or the way that you talk or the way that your kids interact. So there is also a responsibility on the parent or the parents or the guardian when it comes to what gets posted online. And there is not a rule anywhere that says that as an influencer, you have to show your kids to your subscribers. And that's the thing that I always go back to, is it is not expected. It should never be demanded. That's for damn sure. And in my personal opinion, just because you have a persona online, that does not mean that just because you get pregnant and you have a child, that child is automatically shown to your subscribers. You can let them know that you're having a child, and I'm sure everyone will be very happy. But there is no contract and there is no expectation for that child's life to be shared with strangers the way that you have shared your life with strangers. So I know that her history online has been very colorful, and it's been very, full of ups and downs, as many other influencers have been as well. And I think that she has been asked to take responsibility for things that she not necessarily, has wanted to take accountability for, or, admit fault. They get something dead set wrong, they're exposed for it, and there is no accountability. There is a fake non-apology, and then things keep moving, and they rely on the internet's short-term memory to continue thriving online. And I'm talking about actual mistakes, actual bad judgment calls, actual exposed for being a really vile person behind the scenes. I'm not talking about, she was being petty, or, he was being shady or whatever. Like, there are definitely things that get picked apart for the wrong reasons. And there are also situations where some people will get upset at an influencer or a YouTuber just because of an opinion. That's not the kind of stuff I'm talking about. I am talking about the cold hard facts of, this is not someone that has a good moral compass, not a good, they do not have a good code of ethics. Here's the proof. Those are the things that influencers should need to give answers to. It does seem like you have the nitpickers on one side, and then you have the influencer who just says everyone's hating on me, and they cannot make sense of what to address and what to ignore. But I think this is very interesting. What do you guys think? Do you think that she'll come back? Do you think she'll take a year off and realize that she needs the money that YouTube was paying her and Instagram was, paying her by being an online persona? But I do find this interesting. Everything else put aside, I will give her credit where credit is due. And that is, I see someone who is admitting that they will be a better mom by not being an online persona. So I will isolate that and I will give her credit. I definitely think that she's made her fair share of huge mistakes online. And I don't know if she'll come back or if she won't. But for right now, I give her well wishes. Like, I have no reason to hate any of these influencers. I don't hate anyone that I've ever talked about on my channel. So good luck to her. We'll see what the future holds. But I'll be interested to see if more influencers kind of have a wake-up call in the future, especially when it comes to the mommy vloggers and family vloggers. Will any of them wake up and realize that family vlogging is on its way out, and bare minimum, take your kids off the internet and then see how your channel does? I think it'll be really interesting next year or so on YouTube, so we'll just sit back and see. But check all the links in my description box if this topic is interesting to you. You can go see the other articles, read them if you are interested, or go watch the videos. But either way, for now, if you like the video, please leave a like and a comment. And if you'd like to see more from me in the future, please subscribe. I'll see you guys soon. Bye.